the federal government and the regional, by the state authorities. The international community will provide more help, particularly over the training of police and military forces, and we will improve the coordination of our work. In the new partnership for Somalia, our Somali partners and the international community have undertaken to work together and to hold each other to account so that we deliver the support and reforms that Somalia will need over the next 4 years, and as we prepare for our shared ambition of one person, one vote elections in 2021. Most importantly of all, everyone at this conference acknowledged the severity of the drought that Somalia is now enduring. At this moment, over 6 million Somalis need emergency food supplies, and nobody can forget that the last time Somalia was blighted by famine in 2011, 260,000 people died. If we act early and decisively, that disaster can still be avoided. For this to happen, aid agencies must be free to go wherever necessary in safety and without let or hindrance to distribute food aid to all those in need. Britain is leading the way in responding to the humanitarian crisis in Somalia and providing food, water and medicine to over 1 million people. Together, we have come together at this conference determined to speed up the healing of Somalia's wound, recognizing the scale of the problems that remain, but determined to ensure that Somalia and the Somali people can achieve the peace and prosperity they deserve. And I now hand over to President Formaggio for your remarks. Thank you, President.
Good evening. Today, the federal government of Somalia set out our priorities and plans together with our international partners who have committed to support us. We agreed on a security pact and a new partnership for Somalia in support of Somalia's national development plan. Endorsing the national partnership for Somalia is a great step forward for Somalia. The national partnership for Somalia is a partnership for Somalia based on the principle of mutual accountability between our government and its international partners. A clear agreement on both our parts to work together on a set of shared goals to bring lasting peace, stability and prosperity to Somalia for the good of the Somali people. Our aim is to fulfill Somalia's vision to achieve a stronger, more secure, more cooperative union that enhances equity and good governance for all Somalis. But that cannot be achieved without secure Somalia. Today, we have endorsed Somali-led and owned security pact with our partners. A security pact that is based on an agreed vision of Somali-led security institutions and forces that are affordable, acceptable and accountable. It has come to a realization that Somalia needs bold and courageous steps from our international partners. We need our partners to invest more directly in our priorities and our country's system, as this will strengthen government institutions and is critical for sustainability. Our government has committed change the way we manage our economy, to work together and work with development partners. We have committed to another kind of partnership which also moves us forward and enables us to grow, a public-private partnership, and my administration will ensure concrete and tangible steps are taken to improve the business environment. Also, I am pleased with the outcome of the side events that took place during this conference on the contribution of diaspora and civil society to Somalia, and recognize their collective role in supporting stability and prosperity in Somalia. Great things are happening for Somalia, and I am so happy to be here to witness it. My people have a promise that my fairly new administration is here for them and their needs. Together we can achieve anything. Let's work together, Somalia and her friends, to tackle the challenges that comes our way. As I mentioned this morning, the expectations are very high, but no performing is not an option. Thank you all for being here. I will now give the floor to the Excellency Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General. I thank you.
Thank you very much, first of all, to the government of the United Kingdom, to Boris Johnson, for having had the initiative of this conference, and to the President of Somalia for having created the political conditions that allowed it to happen. And this conference was an unmitigated success. This conference has created the conditions for an opportunity to materialize, an opportunity that we cannot miss. An opportunity to take Somalia out of decades of conflict, of poverty, and of terrible suffering for the Somali people. An opportunity to defeat terrorism and to reestablish peace. An opportunity to allow for the build-up of national Somali institutions and lay the foundations of a normal economic and social development process. And this opportunity is possible because we have in Somalia a president and a government that have a strategy and a plan of action that makes sense and deserve the support of the international community. But now, for the opportunity not to be missed, the international community needs to come together and to massively support Somalia. First of all, responding to the appeals to increase humanitarian aid, to be able to face the dramatic challenge of food insecurity and disease in the country. Second, to fully support the government in the build-up of national institutions, and in particular, as it was mentioned by the Foreign Secretary, the National Army and the National Police Force that need to be built in a coordinated way and under the strategy of the Somali government. The international community needs also to be able, in between, before those national institutions are able to fully protect the Somali people, the international community must give strong and predictable financial and equipment support to AMISOM, to the mission of the African Union, that with enormous sacrifice and enormous courage has been fighting Shabab in very dramatic circumstances, but creating the conditions that allow this conference and this opportunity to take place. AMISOM deserves a much stronger support and a much more predictable support from the international community. And finally, it is very important for us all to be able to support the new national development plan of Somalia and to create the conditions for it to be possible through all the instruments of development cooperation, including with the necessary technical mechanisms to be put in place and the guarantees of sustainability, including an effective process of debt relief. If the international community will be able to respond to the challenge, I'm sure this opportunity will not be missed, and I'm sure that Somalia will be the success story we need in our troubled world.
Thank you very much, Antonio, Secretary General. We're going to have a few questions now. Can I invite a question from representatives, first of the Somali media? Yes, Universal, unless I miss my guess.
My question, I'll put it in Somali language for the benefit of our audience back home. Mr. President, dadka Soomaaliyeed kalsooni fara badan ayay kugu qabaan adiga iyo dawladdaada. President,
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. shirkan waa shirkii saddexaad oo la yiri waa London conference.
This is the third conference of London. This conference is different from the other conference. This one is special because and there's a commitment from the international community on this conference, and there's a full support from the international community and that they will support the Somali security pact. So if we